back to our history lesson.
So back to the history lesson. Actually, that was the end of the history lesson. Everything should be fine for everyone now. We were streaming at 60 frames per second by accident. I didn't realize that, so...
You have a beautiful screen.
now we're at 30, so everyone should be good. If you're not, please still let us know.
Yeah.
I hand the,
pretty much anywhere.
that section...
Live and all
She's all over it.
Right, so if you hear clicking away, there you go.
Okay.
I hand that section of the newspaper over. Here, for kids. It's the children's section.
Oh, okay. I was like, I'm not kidding.
It's not that big of a paper. They're like, it's that
but everything we just went over is basic stuff that they would already, like most adults would already be like aware of, like geography and stuff. So that was the kids section of the paper. So
going over a kid's explanation of why the world is going to pot.
Right.
So it's a bunch of like sad faces.
And then I go.
So over the years, refugees have been coming in, but Absalom has actually cut off the rest of the world because they got too many refugees, and so there's actually been a number of ships that have been just sort of piling up outside of Absalom in the hopes of being able to come in, and outside of Absalom and the rest of the island and Diobel and other places.
Yeah.
How many pirates are there?
Oh, there are so many pirates. That was the beginning of closing off from Absalom. They're like, nope.
Pirates.
The pirates have been hanging out in Diobel, which is like down the island.
Because they all got shoved out of the shackles, and there's all these refugee ships going back and forth.
Oh yeah, the inner sea is now covered in pirates. So
they have so many recruits now. They're like, you get to be a pirate. You get to be
a pirate.
I'm sorry, I ran out of peg legs, but here's an island.
Give us your stuff and starve, or give us your stuff and be a pirate.
In addition to that, the Pathfinders, who you were so desperately trying to become part of, they actually did do a whole spree of bringing people in. Unfortunately, you were sort of too late to the boat. You didn't really hear about it, until later.
You're not refugee enough.
And plus, I mean, you had all this work to do and other things to get done and everything else, so you really never really took part of that.
I actually signed up, and it turned out it was a scam. That was just and it turned out it was a fake organization. They just took my money and ran with it.
Some other group were
they were
pretending
to be, and I was so excited because I was getting Russians, and I went along and I went to this train session and everything.
Yeah.
And I was into it, and then we went there the second day.
How many hundreds of gold did you lose out of that?
It wasn't just me; it was a lot of people.
Yeah, a lot of scams going on. I mean, I guess End of the World does that, doesn't it?
Yeah, bring in the best people. I'm not bitter. I'm not bitter at all.
So the Pathfinders, though, have made their way out of Absalom. They are all over the world, attempting to help out wherever they can in different places. Now, mind you, they are not a good group. They're a neutral group for the most part, but they are a group that wants to keep the world going. And so they are taking part. Right, exactly. So there are some in Cheliax who are helping out there. There are some who are up in Mendeleev, and now not Mendeleev, but sort of on that border where the World Wound is moving out. And so the city, even though it has refugees in it, is sort of dead in other ways. Absalom has sent much of the Arcanorum out to help out with research and things of that nature.
And they're probably trying to rescue artifacts and from where the World Wound or Irisin or other things are just beginning to destroy.
And there's not a lot of trade going on anymore, which means there's not a lot of wealth that's making its way through. I mean, when everything is going to war like this, nobody can really get ships through. There are pirates attacking outside constantly. There's a war going on to the south. There's war going on to the north. No one really wants to ship or send anything. Unless, of course, there are sort of weapons and smuggling and a lot of that stuff going on.
There might be an official fleet, but then it's just that's for official business only.
Yeah, and at this point, Absalom is considering itself sort of under siege rules, as it were. A lot of things are locked down. People who are coming in and out need to make sure they have their paperwork in order. And for the most part, they're not allowing any shipment coming through. But there hasn't been an issue with food at all. In fact, there has been more than enough food, and it doesn't seem that you're ever running out of it. Even though no shipments are coming in with new food. Mind you, it's become a little bit more...
Selection's not as great.
Yeah, but it's still there's plenty of meat, plenty of fruit, plenty of meat, plenty of everything. And but that's always been the way of Absalom in a siege. For some reason, Absalom has never run out of... It's gone under siege for... I think it had a 100-year siege. Was the longest it was ever under siege for, and never once ran out of food. And it has been able to stand against any issue, any siege, anything that has gone on because of that fact.
Maybe that's why the symbol of leadership is cornucopia.
Yep. All right, so where are you all going then? Are you going to another tavern? Are you going home? Are you...
Home, I thought.
Let's go home. Let's be cautious about it. I mean, this isn't random. We were picked out for this by someone who knows our past, who knows what we lost. I mean, I kind of thought it might have been Viola, but if Gaspar's involved, so let's go home, but let's take precautions. Like you said, Corbin, you should kind of stay aware right now. Except for you, you should rest.
Does Gaspar have? Is he magic? Could this be him? Could this be cursed?
Unless he's developed something since we knew him, he didn't have any ability to. I think we would have found out about that.
Okay.
Someone could be using him as a delivery boy.
This could still be cursed.
Right, either way.
But as you're walking, Corwin is constantly looking around, like paranoidly, into the crowd and into everyone else. The crowds now are much different than they were years ago as well. A lot of, like I said, refugees have come in. There's a lot more homeless that are sort of on the streets that you've seen, people panhandling, especially in the coins where you live. They've been pushed out of the foreign quarter. Foreign quarter guards have been sort of keeping any sort of homeless out. The majority of them, hang on, I'll bring up a quick map.
And I assume I'm riding on Corwin's back.
Are you now?
Yes, I'm very weak. I was just attacked.
All right.
He is
you're
big,
riding,
strong,
you're riding,
blacksmith.
you're riding on his back then.
The only problem is he keeps twitching when you look at stuff.
Most of them have been gathering down in the puddles here. The puddles is basically an area where it was sort of washed through, so most of the buildings are sort of underwater and things like that. And it also houses the largest prison, which has been overflowing since refugees have been coming in and everything else. But they've been pouring out then into the docks and then upwards into the coins. So you're on his back, and you see his head just sort of turning all around as he's like constantly on the watch. Except he's not very perceptive. He never has been. That's more sort of her.
You should be careful. He's not good at watching his back.
But if you is anyone else kind of keeping an eye out? You two are talking right now, but you haven't been speaking. So do you want to throw up a perception check?
Sure.
Okay.
Nice.
Remember, I have that.
So now we're gonna kind of, for this, because we're no longer in the prelude, we're in the main game. I'm gonna kind of explain some of the rules as we go. So in Pathfinder, you have basically skills like any other role-playing game, and you get a bonus on that skill that's a combination of the ranks you put into it and your attribute. So then you roll a d20 and you add that together. If you're specialized in it, you get an extra bonus as well of like 4 or something like that.
I have 6.
So, all right.
Even when I'm not perceiving, I'm perceiving.
Yep. All right. So why don't
would you like to go to the dice cam?
Oh yes, dice can.
I got it.
Do this one.
Move my leg. Good.
You're fine. That would be. Oh, it's a little dark.
A little bit. We'll just turn this.
I don't think it's. Oh, there it is on. Okay.
There it's on.
Okay, I rolled a 16 plus 6 is 22.
I think it's that. This is.
Aim it down.
Or it's just really fuzzy for some reason. We'll take care of that on the break.
Yeah, the focus is.
Yeah, we'll fix the focus on the break. For right now, it's a 16.
It's not a 16, it's a 22.
Oh, it's a 22.
Yeah, that's a big difference.
All right. So as you're making your way through, you do kind of get that feeling like you're being followed, and you're kind of scanning the crowd, going through, looking for any faces you recognize. And actually, you said it's a 22.
Yes. I have all the points in my perception.
As you're scanning the crowd, you suddenly begin realizing that your vision is a lot stronger than you remember it being. Like, it's almost like as you're darting, you've always been kind of perceptive, but right now it's almost like your mind is cataloging every single person that you're seeing, all the different faces. It's strange to you, but it's almost like you're kind of just keeping track of each and every person, where they're going, and your mind is suddenly doing this for you and just sort of putting it together. And one person stands out in particular. And you see that he's kind of moving through the crowd that's directly behind you. Sort of following. He's not really being very, like, he's not being open about it, but he's not, he's not really hiding either. He's just sort of like, but he's trying to keep up. And you see Valerian. Now, Valerian, if you recall, was one of the underclassmen. He was sort of their unspoken leader, as it were.
Okay.
He was really one of the only people that could keep Gaspar kind of under control. But he kind of looks around. He meets eyes with you. Kind of moves back, and he tries slipping back into the crowd. And he looked almost scared when he saw you. Oh, what's wrong? Oh yes, thank you. Like terrified.
That's strange. Like, do I know where he's going in the direction that?
Well, he kind of flips into the crowd. You want to keep track of him or go after him? I mean, you feel kind of like you could keep an eye on him at this point.
Right.
You're not sure why. But
Right.
yeah.
I just assume that, I've been a teacher for a while now, and
Just keep track
teachers
of
have
kids.
eyes in the back of their heads,
Yeah.
like, all the time. So, yeah, I
But the
think I'll
weird,
just-
I'm just gonna say that the weird thing is you know exactly, like you turn back, and you knew exactly where each of the people when you turned back that were moving past you,
Right.
exactly the point where they were at too.
Yeah, I'm just going to assume that I'm just a little stressed, or like
And
everyone else.
you're
I'm
heightened
just a little
awareness?
Heightened awareness.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So I'll just keep an eye on him.
Okay.
Are you currently online on Twitch right now?
Yeah, we are. Why?
You are. Your user account. By the way.
Am I currently on there?
Yeah. You're currently logged in. Which might help our video buffering issues. Sorry. Somebody
Okay.
just said, hey Archon, so
No,
oh, okay.
they might have just known because that's what I am on IRC.
No, they said that you were on there.
I shouldn't be. I'm really sorry about this, everyone.
Because I specifically asked
No.
Archon Prime. Or unless you know this person.
I might.
Oh, okay.
What's
Sorry.
what's their name?
I am. Do you know that user?
Optimus Prime.
No.
Oh, it's snakes.
No, not snakes. I am. I think it's yellow. Is that yellow?
Hey Archon. Oh, I thought he was a viewer.
Yeah.
Oh, can you go up here?
Sorry.
No, or go right there. See that thing right there?
Yep.
Not that. The next one. The one over. That'll give you a list of everyone who's logged in.
You are logged in.
Yeah.
You might want to.
That's really weird.
figure that
Is there a
out.
device at home that's logged in? Like
Your
on
phone?
The only thing I can think of would be my phone.
So
My
it might
phone is
help
off.
us. Oh. Your laptop?
No, I checked everything.
Okay.
I even
Just
turned
do it.
off. I even turned it off from here.
Okay.
So that's just bizarre.
Okay.
It's fine. Some
You're
hack
just
your account.
floating.
Yep, I've been hacked. It's
Okay.
all right.
Sorry, everyone. Back to our.
Back to your
scheduled
regularly scheduled
programming.
programming. Yes.
So back to what we were doing. What were we talking about?
How I'm just going to keep an eye on
Oh yeah, on Valerian and make
Valerian.
sure.
Yep.
All right. So as you make your way up towards your house,
Mhm.
why don't you throw me another perception check?
Is it another scam? Is it something like?
What's that? Oh yeah. Come on.
I rolled a 12.
Oh,
and
Alright.
that is an 18.
Stop just before the house and check to make sure no one's in there.
All right. So what was it? 18.
18, yes.
All right. So as you're coming up, you're kind of like scanning the front door, and you see that there's little scratch marks on the lock. And it looks as though someone's been trying to pick the lock.
Something doesn't seem right.
It was that cat. No. Did you point this out to her?
Yeah.
Okay.
Streeter is a good cat.
Do you think it's safe to stay here? Did someone actually get it unlocked?
Are they after
I don't
something
know.
we have? We were on the second floor, right?
By the way, when did you learn how to figure out someone picking the lock?
I mean, can't you see like all the scratches on the?
Yeah, but how do you know they weren't just there before?
Oh.
I'll go first. He sets
Well,
the kid down.
Wait, maybe I call Fox, and Fox alert if somebody's there. You know.
You want to go up through your window?
Wait, the fox
No, I
talks.
like the whistle. I will alert my Fox, and if a fox starts running out of my room, if there is somebody up there, they might be like, "Oh my god, fox!" Right? So we will brush them out.
So you want to attack them with your fox.
Alarm them.
No, alarm. Like alarm, like guard dog. Like I will.
Sets you down.
Okay.
I think I'm a little bit bigger than a fox.
You don't understand. Yeah, okay, you go first. It's okay.
I pull out my dagger.
He's slow. He's Corwin. He's super slow.
It's okay. He's a good man. It's cool. It's okay.
So he goes up, unlocks the door.
Meanwhile, I blow my fox whistle.
Kind of stops for a moment. Opens the door.
Do I see my fox friend?
He grabs like a piece of wood off the ground and kind of just holds it in his hands and begins making his way up the stairs.
Be careful you do not swing at Nikita.
You hear like a sound of like a cat screeching and like something falling over.
Nikita is playing with Striker.
Do you go up?
Or there's someone else.
After Corwin, yes, he's in front.
Okay, well no, he was going up alone.
I give him some space.
All right.
I'd assume we would all follow, yes? No?
All right.
Anybody else coming? Hello?
Anyone there, Corwin?
I'm waiting.
It's safe.
What did the cat do?
As you make your way up the stairs, you see he has a scratch across his face. I hate that cat.
So blasted. If there weren't so many refugees in the city, we could kick the cat out.
No,
No,
If there weren't women in this house, we could kick the cat out.
maybe.
probably not. This is sort of the cat's house now.
Yeah, cat's been pretty much living here ever since, like, you know.
The cat was here when we got here.
In communist
No, I
USA,
came with the
the cat
house.
kicked you out.
The cat pretty
No.
much came with the house. You remember that, right?
And
You see
This is the
Streaker is
cat's
out there,
house.
Ever
and she's just sort of
since-
licking her paw, like, acting like she's wounded.
Oh, you
Yeah,
okay?
you.
I will check
And looks
on
up at you,
Streaker.
like, with that look, like, I'm wounded. And she just kind of comes into you and just kind of does, like, and you watch, right? And turns her head towards you and Corwin and just goes...
You're such a good kitty. Such a good kitty.
There have been armistices, cat, but there's never been a cessation of war.
Okay, but Streaker, you must go. I will feed you in just a minute. Where is Nikita?
You don't see Nikita anywhere.
Streaker, what did you do to Nikita?
Just kind of moves off towards the kitchen.
I whistle again.
No response. Do you go to your room?
I check her house.
Well, okay. Where do you go first?
Probably my room.
On your bed, you see Nikita is there. And just kind of curled up on the bed and looking like, just kind of like, sort of resting there and kind of very slowly lifts up his head, looks at you, and just kind of puts it back down, like barely even able to lift it.
Oh my god, Nikita! What is wrong?
Nikita's looking kind of thin. Like almost hungry. Like a little starved.
Is Streaker eating Nikita's food?
It's possible.
That little bitch. She's going to be gone. Okay, I pick up Nikita.
She's very light.
I'm taking her to go feed her the most fattening thing I can find in the kitchen.
Okay. Yeah, there's some you go through and you begin like kind of looking through like in your icebox and everything else. There's not a whole lot of food in there really. There's some of the food that you have for the cat and for Streaker as well. This is your regular food that you kind of feed them. But yeah, actually, I mean, it must have been a long time since you guys been shopping. You're not sure whose turn it was, but
What's that? Stu, gotta go to the shop.
there's really not a whole lot of food here. There's a couple of like leftover, it looks like some maybe peaches that have kind of gone rotten.
Nikita cannot eat the rotten fishes.
But there's still the food, like I said, like the sort of pet food that you have for them.
I want to give the poor thing steak. She's starving.
There's no steak here.
I have it. Okay, so I put Nikita on the table with his food and guard him while he eats so that the little streaker does not come in here.
I'm assuming water as well and sort of
Yes,
everything.
of course.
Okay.
Maybe a little meat. No,
And
just
you
kidding.
see he goes up to the, like kind of looks at you almost like a little bashfully, goes up to the water, kind of looks at it, kind of looks back at you like confused, and sort of looks at it and then looks at it again and just goes into it. as though like it's never drank water before or something. He is just going crazy on drink, and that water is gone before you know it. Although begins like hacking and coughing. Like drank it too fast.
I will go get more water.
Okay. By the time you come back, yeah, he's eating the food, drinks more of your water, and is just sort of gorging.
My baby.
I mean, it could very well be that I mean, there's been some strange sicknesses that have been coming through with all the different people from all different countries and everything else. I mean, you've heard of like wasting sicknesses and things of that nature, and it could very well be that, you know, he picked up something like that.
Okay, I'm going to look through my bag and see if I have anything I can put in the...
Something to help his stomach?
Yes.
Okay. I think you, if I remember correctly, you had a few things, so...
Crystal doesn't
it's okay.
Appropriate.
You go through and kind of grab a few of the herbs and different stuff that you have and the chemicals and kind of mix a little concoction together. You know it'll help like a human stomach kind of reduce some of the herbs that you know like might not rest as easily.
Okay.
And as you're trying to pour it down his throat, he's fighting you, of course.
That is not how you give pets medicine, you silly man. You mix it up with some food and then you give it to him like a treat.
Well, unfortunately,
you'll dogs, but that's about it.
It'll dilute it for one thing. What you're trying to give him, so you have to force it. Yeah, you have to go in there and kind of
swallow.
Kind of open the mouth with one hand, and you actually have to go like this.
Oh,
and work the
I don't know. You have to help me. I cannot do that to my baby.
One moment, I'm checking the rooms, make sure nothing's taken.
Everything's clear over here. Are you also making a thorough search?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm just gonna keep your roll.
Okay.
It doesn't look as though whoever was picking the lot got in.
Okay, that's
Nothing seems to be out of place. In fact, you know exactly which place everything in this room was when you left it.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty bizarre. But...
Mm-hmm.
What am I doing then? He's walking out of his room.
Hold Nikita's mouth open so I can give him medicine.
He looks at Nikita. Look, that doesn't work. Goes over up to him.
Nikita looks
Nikita
really like sick, like really like malnourished almost, like that kind of look.
Are you feeding him?
Of course I feed him, but maybe a streaker eats his food. I don't know. I don't.
All right, Nikita, this is for your own good. And he's gonna kind of just hold him and pet him, and then can I grip the corner of his mouth and force his mouth open?
Okay.
Just coming from downstairs while they're doing this.
I think how do you do this?
Corwin kind of looks at him and
Yeah.
Trevor looks at you.
My hands are full. Can you get that, Corwin? Or someone?
All right, so you head down the stairs.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have clearly played NPC and Commander before. Jared and I just had an exchange
of like almost like, you know, like the silent like soldier to commander nod. Yeah. All right, so you head down and you can see through the sort of like the glass doorway. It's a little fuzzy, of course, you know, but you can make out the face and you're pretty sure it's Valerian.
Every time I hold Nikita, just like he's so much better than Cat.
And then knock comes again.
She's so puffy.
Yeah, I meant like the nod for him to kind of go to the door.
Oh, you want Corin to go up to it?
Yeah, I know. He goes to the door. I'll stay like, and then happens.
Corin kind of composes himself, tries to
on the lookout.
make the meanest face he can.
But I mean, he knows Corin, so it's not really gonna work.
So he grabs the doorknob and pulls open the door. And Valerian just sort of looks and looks up at him, kind of tries to get his best pose on. And you see he's trying to keep a very serious and straight face. And he kind of looks a little confused at the moment. But you can tell that he also looks a little scared. You can almost smell the fear on him right now. I'm looking to speak to Parno. Corwin makes his way upstairs. Parno?
Yeah.
Valerian is here and he wants to talk to you.
Valerian
I don't know why.
I can take it.
asks you do the hot potato fox.
So you do remember that he is friends with Gaspar, right?
Yes, I do. I also remember he was a lot more sensible than Gaspar, and he was. And I don't actually. how did the relationship change when Gaspar was kicked out? I mean,
Valerian still remains sort of the leader of the orphans of the younger generation. He was never as like, he was never quite so like calm and everything else as others were. He was far more like commanding, in a way, but he still was nowhere near as bad as Gaspar.
Goes downstairs. To the
And you realize, by the way, right behind you, Christiana is sort of standing there, like almost like glaring at him, and is just guarding the stairway up. And Corwin is standing at the top of the stairs, sort of doing the same thing.
I'm thinking about locking myself and my babies in my bedroom. I am not comfortable with this.
Okay. No, that's fine if you want to do that.
Or maybe I just hide behind Christiana.
Well, that she's down below on the stairs, so if you want to stay away from it, your room would be a good place.
Is everybody downstairs?
At this point, yeah, they're on the stairwell.
Yeah.
I just peek around the corner.
Okay.
Oh, Valerian, it's been a few years. Right.
Is it you? Well, no, you've seen him recently.
Oh.
I mean, he comes into the inn on occasion.
Oh, he does.
I mean, you and the other orphans sort of keep up, but just not like you're never not close. So I'd say a few days.
It's been.
You're always alone. Nowhere.
I actually was hoping to run into you soon. What's this about? First of all,
It's about Gaspar.
that was one of the reasons. Yes. What he assaulted one of.
I know. I have come to apologize on his behalf. I hope that
Bullshit.
Why are you still associating with him?
he's only recently come back. Look, the world out there, it's insane. And even a person like Gaspar needs a safer place to be.
What about the rest of us?
Look, I don't want to cause anything between us, okay? That's the last thing we need right now. Is for...
I'm sitting here and hear all this, correct?
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna send smoke.
Okay.
16.
16? Yeah, you get the sense that he is being honest. But he is also very scared. That he really does not want to have, like, any quarrel with you. And is afraid that that's going to happen. You can kind of tell there is a sincerity of that nature in his eyes. But there's also sort of a bit of a viper there. That if that's not going to be the case, that he's willing to
ready.
fight. Yeah.
I think that Valerian might not be totally incorrect. Consider what's going on with everything that we've heard. Even depending on what you could consider what is going on, whether it's an act of the gods or whatever. Sometimes even you might require even the most evil of people to survive, and even they need to survive too. We're all humans.
A wild dog needs a handler who can control him.
He tried to kill me.
I can control him. I promise you. I can keep him under control. It won't happen again.
Maybe you should
What?
come look at my neck.
Then, just a moment. Let's set that aside for just a moment, because there's another thing. What
One
was
thing
he
you're
doing?
noticing, he's most scared of Parno.
I'm okay with this.
Yeah.
What was he?
Remember when you were younger, you
Yeah.
were the one also who could keep him in control. So,
Right.
What was he doing? What did he have to do with? We were given. Each of us was given.
look, he
things
just
to
saw you. He wasn't prepared for it, right? I hadn't had a chance to speak with him. He had just arrived.
What did Valerian have? Did Valerian lose anything in the fire?
Not that you know of, but you never really talked about that with them.
Okay.
That was always something amongst all of you that you sort of discussed.
Okay, so it's nothing that like all of a sudden I might notice something.
No, there's nothing that stands out. Everything, actually, strangely enough, you know this. You're not sure why, but yeah, everything upon his person seems as it should be.
Okay.
Was he delivering things to us? Was he giving us tokens or items from the fire?
No.
Why was he following us or watching us?
Look, he went after Corwin. He was trying to find him, figure out where he was, go after him. Yes, he wanted revenge. Yes, he did want all these things, but I promise you I can keep him from going after this. He doesn't understand. I can keep his anger under control. I promise you. I hope there won't be any retaliation.
There won't be retaliation, but if he comes after us again,
I understand,
Wait, that
Parno.
doesn't make any sense. He went after Corwin when Lambert.
What's that?
He went after Corwin, but it was Lambert. Where is Lambert?
it was
Oh, Lambert? Lambert works for the First Watch.
Right,
So he's doing his, oh, you're asking
But,
this out.
Yes.
here's-
Sorry, I'm
here's-
like, as
you're
if
actually
I
in
were
character
addressing
asking.
everyone.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Oh.
I don't know. Look, he blames you, he blames Corwin, he blames Lambert, he blames all of you.
Right, but
Corwin has the bigger muscles, so getting him out of the way might be his first attack in a string of them.
right, but wouldn't
Valerian,
He's under control, I promise. Please. Please accept my apologies and let's just let this go.
partner, I think it's more important to figure out why we received all these things if we gave them to us.
what she's referring to is,
Maybe we shouldn't be telling somebody who associates with Gaspar.
I think we need to.
if he doesn't already know. Sorry, there's been a lot happening lately. Are you?
He looks confused. You can tell. Like he's kind of, but he's a little offset. So
Right. What sort of things?
look, I just want to know that we're good. Okay, I want to know that I can walk away from here and know that everything.
We're not looking to start a war or a feud. So yes,
He relaxes. And please just don't try taking it out on him. I'll keep him away. Everything will be fine. I promise. Agreed.
agreed. On those terms.
Let's actually shake. We're actually here. He seems much more relaxed. But I will see you later, partner. And he turns and begins walking off. Like he just wants to leave the whole situation as quick as he can.
Valerian, question: did you lose anything in the fire that was returned to you recently?
No.
And I'll see you at the tavern later. Next time you swing by.
He nods and continues on the way.